Senator Chris Coons believes Democrats have been too cautious over the years about sharing their faith values and how it influences their political views. Now he believes it's time for a change.
This is an overwhelmingly religious country.
Coons says that while many associate religion with the conservative right, polls show about 3/4 of Democrats identify as religious or somewhat religious.
And since most Americans get through their day, get through their challenges in faith, for us to hide the fact that it's an important part of our lives as Democrats would leave an unanswered question for millions of Americans who would find it hard to be comfortable with us, hard to trust us if they think we are not in some way moved or grounded in faith.
While Coons strongly differs from his conservative colleagues on issues like abortion, he looks for other opportunities.
I personally work for moments where there's common purpose rather than division rooted in our differences in faith.
He believes there are other issues where faith informs and influences his stance.
Working against human trafficking, working on criminal justice reform, working to improve the environment are things that have brought together the whole range of our faith communities across the United States.
While campaigning with his colleague, Senator Sherrod Brown.
And I said I got to know him better when we were in a prayer group, a reflection group together. And I could see, looking out at the audience, dozens of people because that's not something Sherrod ever talks about.
Eventually, Brown changed that stance.
What you did for those who seemed less important, you did for me.
And cited a passage from Matthew on his election night speech.
I think it's valuable to show people our hearts, those of us who are in public service.
Coons has encouraged many 2020 Democrat presidential candidates have already discussed their faith.
It's quite a change, I think, from previous cycles.
Noting quite a few are regulars in the weekly bipartisan prayer breakfast. Coons says if you look back at our nation's history, some of the greatest movements were centrally inspired by people of faith. And he thinks more great work can be done if elected officials would focus more on things that can bring Americans together. Reporting from Capitol Hill, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.